Hi, my name is Austin Knudsen, and this is Somatic Experience, a body oriented approach to trauma healing. Before we get started, I just wanted to say at first glance that somatic experiencing can kind of be hard to conceptualize. So I've included as many practical examples as I can. So, what is somatic experiencing? Well, it's a body focused trauma therapy that helps clients regulate their nervous system by tracking and releasing pent up survival energy through mindful attention to physical sensations. And yes, that was a mouthful. Somatic experiencing best serves clients whose trauma lives in the body. Those people with like PTSD or chronic stress or even developmental wounds who feel stuck in survival responses. It's especially powerful for those people who struggle with the process of trauma through talk therapy alone. It really helps them release their stored tension and recalibrate their nervous system through body and mindful awareness. So, understanding the history, we first start by the developer who was Peter Levine. In the early 1970s, Dr. Peter Levine, he's a psychologist and a biologist, made a revolutionary observation while observing animals. He realized that while humans develop PTSD after trauma, why don't animals? So imagine a gazelle escaping a lion. Its heart's racing, it's pounding out of its chest, its legs are trembling, finally gets to safety. When it finds that safe little zone, it does this thing where it shakes off violently. Then it returns back to grazing. And that shaking isn't panic, it's actually its body's brilliant way of discharging trapped survival energy. And for humans, well, we're just taught to keep it together. We suppress these shakes, we freeze these reactions, or rapid breathing, and what happens is it's interrupting nature's reset button. This leaves trauma energy stuck in our nervous system like a car alarm that just won't stop going off. So here's where Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory helps explain why somatic experiencing works. Our atomic nervous system has 3 gears. Number 1 is the ventral vagal, which is the safe and social spot. When we feel secure and we connect with others. Number 2 is the sympathetic, which is fight or flight. Danger triggers these adrenaline surges. And 3, which is the dorsal vagal, which is the freeze and collapse. If overwhelmed, we just shut down. So what happens is trauma knocks us into fight or flight or freeze, and without discharge, we get stuck there. Somatic experiencing helps gently shift these gears back to safety by working directly with the body's signals. So, why does this all matter? Traditional talk therapy focuses on the story of trauma, but somatic experiencing recognizes that trauma lives in the body's physiology, in a racing heart or a clenched jaw, or that stuck feeling of freeze. By helping people safely release trapped survival energy, like that gazelle shake, we're not just treating the symptoms, we're repairing the wiring of the nervous system itself. So, what are the key concepts or the basic tenets? Trauma lives in the body. When we face danger, our body prepares to fight, flee, or freeze. But if those instincts are blocked, maybe we freeze instead of running, or no one helped us afterwards. The survival energy doesn't just vanish, it gets trapped in the nervous system like a skipping record, replaying the same alarm. This is why trauma survivors might feel jumpy or numb or triggered, years after the event, because the body hasn't realized that the threat is over. Well, somatic experiencing helps it catch up. Unfinished survival responses. Animals in the wild, remember, they shake or bolt or run to release this trapped energy after traumatic experiences. What do humans do? Well, we might just power through or disassociate instead. Somatic experiencing helps us complete those frozen survival responses, not by reliving the trauma, but by gently discharging the energy that's been on pause. And how do we do that? We do that through slow, small, safe healing. Titration, technically, which was a word taken from chemistry. You ever try and lift weights that are just like way too heavy for you? Well, yeah, you'd end up hurting yourself, right? Well, trauma work is the same way. Somatic experiencing uses titration, which is the breaking of trauma into tiny, manageable pieces to avoid overflooding the nervous system. Instead of pushing someone to tell the whole story, we might focus on one sensation, like the tightness in your hands. Small steps to keep the body feeling safe enough to heal. Bottom-up processing. Most therapy start with the thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex. Somatic experiencing starts with the feeling brain, which is the amygdala on the bottom, the gut, the heartbeat. We ask, what do you notice in your body right now, instead of what happened? And we do this because trauma lives in the body first. A racing heart or a clenched jaw can tell us more than words sometimes. So tracking these cues helps the nervous system unwind. So that's why we call somatic experiencing a body-up therapy, because it helps the body teach the brain safety first, rather than thinking our way into the feeling better, essentially. Healing equals renegotiating safety. Healing isn't about erasing trauma. It's about teaching the body that right now, you're safe. Somatic experiencing helps clients renegotiate their trauma by pairing old triggers with new safe experiences, like noticing your feet on the ground while recalling a scary memory. Over time, the nervous system learns that was then, and this is now. All right, let's discuss the therapeutic relationship. In most therapies, the counselor is like a guide holding a flashlight, helping you navigate in a dark terrain, but in somatic experiencing, they're more like a co-regulator, someone who helps your nervous system relearn safety, not just through words, but through presence and pacing in the body itself. The role of the counselor, by first and all, is always to create a safe and trusting environment, right? Before any trauma work begins, the somatic experiencing counselor must build an environment of safety, both physically and emotionally. This isn't just about comfort, it's biological. Safety cues, like a calm voice, signal to the client's nervous system that you're not alone here. For example, a therapist might notice a client's shallow breathing and gently say, let's pause. Feel the chair that's supporting you. This isn't avoiding the work, it's making sure the body is ready for it. So tracking body sensations is huge. Somatic experiencing therapists are trained to read the body like a map. Instead of analyzing stories, they watch for shifts in posture, breath, or muscle tension. These tiny clues that reveal where trauma energy is stuck. Imagine a therapist as a translator, helping the client decode their body language. That's clenching in your jaw. That's your body saying it's bracing for something. So let's notice that together. That gentle guide is the next step. It's the titration and pendulation. Somatic counselors don't push clients into the deep end. They use titration, which is small doses of trauma material, and pendulation, which is like the balancing act, which is swinging between activation and calm to keep the nervous system within the window of tolerance. Educator of the body trauma connection. Many clients blame themselves for their symptoms. Why can't I just get over this? Well, somatic experiencing counselors teaches them your panic attacks aren't weakness. They're your body's brilliant, outdated survival strategies. This reframe alone can help be liberating and empowering at the same time. The client's experience gradually connect to the body. So how we do that is trauma often disconnects people from their bodies. Somatic experiencing helps them re-enter their body, not with force, but with curiosity. Over time, a tight chest isn't just anxiety, it's information, right? Safe trauma renegotiation. Clients aren't reliving trauma. That's huge to know. We need to have that just as stable and understood right now. What they're doing is they're renegotiating it. The therapist ensures that they're here now, feet on the ground, room temperature, the therapist's voice, while recalling the past. This teaches the body that was then and this is now. So, the therapeutic process. The goal of somatic experiencing, the ultimate aim, is to restore the body's natural ability to self-regulate and resolve trauma by releasing stuck survival energy and rewiring the nervous system. It's not about fixing the past, but helping the body complete what it couldn't during the traumatic event. That first step is going to be establishing safety. Before we can heal trauma, we need to create a neurobiological safe zone. Trauma lives in the primitive brain, right? The amygdala and the brainstem, which doesn't respond to words like "you're safe now." It responds to body level cues. And so we help the clients find these anchors, these physical or sensory tools that activate the ventral vagal system, the part of that nervous system that's responsible for calm and connection. For an example, imagine a car crash survivor who panics at the sound of screeching tires. Before exploring that memory, the therapist guides them to notice their feet on the ground or the weight of their hands on their lap. These anchors literally shift the nervous system out of fight or flight and into the "I'm here now." Number 2 is tracking body sensations. Trauma isn't a story in the mind, it's a sensory imprint in the body. Somatic experiencing therapists act like body detectives, helping clients notice sensations without judgment. Instead of asking, "How does that make you feel?" which keeps us in the thinking brain, we ask, "Where do you feel that in your body?" Tightness in the chest, a lump over the throat. These cues are where the survival energy is frozen. This actual part is actually called interoception. It's the brain's ability to sense internal signals. Trauma blunts this skill. That's why so many survivors feel numb or disconnected, because somatic experiencing actually helps rebuild it, like rewiring a faulty alarm system. Number 3 is facilitating pendulation and titration, like we said before. You ever push a swing just like really too hard and it flies out of control? You kind of trying to get a hold of it. Well, somatic experiencing avoids this with pendulation. It's the natural rhythm between activation, which is anxiety and anger, into calm. We gently guide these clients to swing between the traumatic memory and a safe anchor, like their breath, teaching their nervous system that you can handle this. And titration is our only dosing tool. Instead of diving into a traumatic memory head first, we might focus on one tiny piece, like the sound of a voice during an event, for just 30 seconds and then return to safety. This prevents overwhelm, and then it rewires the trauma response. It's kind of like before you get into a shower. You're like testing how hot the water is, so you put your fingers in first, so you don't, there's no surprises. You're not going to get scalded hot or jump into a freezing cold shower. It's the same thing. So, number 4 is discharge survival energy. Animals in the wild shake off the trauma, literally. A gazelle escaping a lion will tremble to release its energy. Humans, we're taught to hold on to it together. So, somatic experiencing helps create space for this biological discharge, like trembling or tears, heat waves, even yawns. These aren't breakdowns, they're breakthroughs. Like a combat veteran, for example, might finally let their legs shake in a session. And the therapist reassures them that this isn't fear, it's your body unlocking that freeze response from that night in Iraq, for example. So, number 5 is to rebuild regulation and empowerment. Trauma convinces the brain you're powerless. Somatic experiencing flips this by restoring your body level choice. Simple questions like, do you want to pause? Or would moving your hand help? Rebuild this agency. Over time, clients learn how to interrupt that panic loop themselves. This is essentially just neuroplasticity, actually. It's the brain's ability to just rewire itself. Even a tiny choice, like "I'll take a breath now," weakens that old trauma pathway and strengthens a new one. Number 6 is to reorient to the present. The final step, this is bridging the past and the present. A client might recall like a traumatic event while feeling their therapist's steady presence or the floor beneath them. This teaches the brain that memory is from then, my body is safe now. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about teaching the body that the past is over and that you're here, alive, and you're finally home in yourself again. When it comes to treating trauma, traditional talk therapies just don't work for everyone. That's where somatic experiencing comes in. Let's look at what the research says about its effectiveness. Today's data is drawn from a comprehensive 2021 research review that's evaluated 16 studies on somatic experiencing. The strongest evidence supports somatic experiencing for PTSD. 80% of these studies 4 out of 5, showed significant reduction in PTSD symptoms. In one high-quality study, somatic experiencing cut symptom severity in half compared to no treatment. This suggests that somatic experiencing is a promising alternative for the trauma survivors who struggle with exposure therapies. Depression, anxiety, well-being, all three of these actually show mixed but encouraging results. 50% of these studies found improvements in depression and anxiety, and 60% reported enhanced well-being or resilience. While not universal, these findings highlight somatic experiences like potential for holistic healing, addressing both the body and the mind. But there's a catch. Only 20% of these studies were high-quality randomized trials, which is essentially the gold standard. Many had sample sizes or lacked control groups. This means we just need more rigorous research to fully confirm somatic experiences' benefits. In summary, let's put this into perspective. Trauma rewires the nervous system, and what the research shows is that somatic experiencing helps rewire it back. The evidence tells us three crucial things. Number one, it works where other therapies fail. With 80% of PTSD studies showing significant improvement, somatic experience offers real hope for treatment-resistant trauma. Number two, it heals holistically. Beyond just the symptoms, somatic experiencing helps rebuild what trauma destroys, a sense of safety, resilience, and a connection to one's body. And last, the science is promising, but young. While early results are impressive, we're just beginning to map how and why somatic experiencing creates these transformations. In a world where trauma is often over-medicated, over-talked, somatic experience offers something radical, the chance to heal at the nervous system level, where trauma actually lives. As one study participant put it, for the first time, I didn't just understand I was safe. My body finally believed it. That's the power of somatic experiencing. It doesn't just help people survive their past, it helps them reclaim their present. Thanks for watching.